This is Radhakrishna, lecturer in computer science, Chambers Degree College, Palgol. Today, in this session, we are going to discuss about requirement elicitation process. Similarly, we have to discuss the problems in gathering requirements also. So, all the topics we'll discuss in today's class. Before starting our discussion, first let us see what are the previous topics we discussed. In our previous session, we discussed about different types of feasibilities, similarly, different types of requirements like functional requirements, non-functional requirements, user interface requirements. These topics we discussed in our previous session. Now, in today's session, we're going to discuss requirement elicitation process. Before starting this, I want to introduce a term or a most popular designation, that is software system analyst. Software system analyst. He is the key person. He is very important person for a software project development. He will be more experienced. He will be more qualitative, means he will have much more experience in software development, and he will be more skilled person also. He have to participate as a key person in the project, and he is also having some responsibilities. What the system analyst must do in a project? What is the role of a software system analyst in a software development? First, I have to discuss the topic, and after that, we'll go for requirement illustration. Because why you are starting with the software system analyst for this requirement illustration process means the main task of the system analyst is requirements gathering and requirements analysis. You have to perform all this. So, before discussing about requirement gathering and illustration, first we must know the related person. The main job of system analyst in a software project is he must analyze and understand the intended project. That is his first responsibility. The system analyst must analyze, and he must have some clear idea about the organization, about the project that we are going to start. That is the first activity, the first task, responsibility of the system analyst. And next, he must know another idea also. That is, what is the contribution of this current project? What is the contribution of this current project in the organization? How this present project contributes in the organization? He must know that information also. That is the second responsibility of the system analyst. And he must also know that what is the source of requirement. You must know from where you can gather requirements, where the requirements are available, from where you can get it. That information, that knowledge you must have. That is the third one. That is the third responsibility of the system analyst. And he must also validate the requirements. He will gather some requirements. He will gather some requirements from the users or stakeholders of the company. At the same time, he must analyze. He must validate whether the requirement is important or not, whether the requirement is valid or not. He must validate that information also. And another one is he must create a plan A requirement management plan he must create. How to manage the requirements, how to gather, how to manage, how to analyze. All these must be maintained by the system analyst. That is another one. And next one is documentation. Documentation of technical requirements and product requirements, process requirements, technical requirements, product, business, all these requirements must be documented. The software system analyst must document all these. Similarly, coordination with clients. The system analyst must have coordination. He must coordinate with clients and he must prioritize the requirements. What is prioritizing? Prioritize means we will have so many requirements. After gathering all the requirements, the system analyst will get so many requirements. These requirements must be prioritized. If some requirements are very important, these must be prioritized at high and normal and low, which is important, which is not, which is high priority, which is low priority. Like that, he must prioritize the requirements also. Finally, acceptance is the most important major thing. He must get acceptance from the client about the requirements he gained, he gathered. He must analyze all the gathered requirements and he must take some acceptance from the client also. Okay, these are the final requirements I want. Like that, in requirement management or requirement gathering process, the system analyst plays very important role. That's why before going to requirement gathering stage, we discussed about system analyst. These are the main tasks, main responsibilities of a system analyst in a software project. We already discussed the different types of requirements, functional requirements, non-functional requirements as the important types, and we discussed another type also, user interface requirements. Like that, we discussed some types of requirements. And these requirements can be categorized as another way also. We can categorize. That means some requirements are called as must have. You can call some requirements as must have. What is meant by must have requirements? If software cannot be said operational without these requirements, must have requirements must be included in the software. If these requirements are not present, if these requirements are not included in the software, then you cannot say the software is operational. When these requirements, must have requirements are included in the software, then only we can call the software as operational. And another type we can say that is should have requirements. These should have requirements will enhance the functionality of the software. To enhance the functionality of the software, we have to include these requirements. If we include, the software performance will be increased. The proposed software performance will be increased. Such requirements are called as should have. That is second one. And another one is there. That is could have. With these requirements, software can still properly function with these requirements. These are could have. This can be used in the software. And final type is wish list. What is wish list? Wish list means these requirements do not map to any object of the software. If you use these requirements, then the software will be better and the user will get some more satisfaction. Like that, these requirements can be categorized as these four types also. That is must have, should have, could have, and wish list. Now, before going to requirement gathering information, now let us work with requirement illustration process. This is our today's concept, requirement illustration process. This requirement illustration process contains four activities, four important activities. First one, requirements gathering. That is first one. The first stage in that is requirements gathering. The next one is requirements organization. That is the second option, requirements organization. And third one is negotiation and discussion. This is third one. Final one is requirement specification. These are the main stages of requirement illustration process. Let us discuss each one. This diagram shows us requirements illustration process. This contains four activities or four stages. One is requirements gathering, requirements organization, negotiation and discussions, requirement specification. Let us discuss each one. What is the activity in each stage? First one is requirements gathering. Here, the developer discusses with client. He will make some meetings with the client and he gathers information from the client. So this is requirements gathering stage. In this stage, the developer need to discuss with clients and end users, those who use this project at the end. And we have to get some information about their expectations also, what they are expecting. Like that, that is the first stage, gathering requirements. In this gathering stage, here they face a problem also. The developer faces a problem. That means client will give his ideas, his requirements in his own words only. He can use his business terminology. These must be carefully, properly understood by the developer and must be documented. So, while gathering requirements, the developer need to take very much care and very much precautions because this may lead to confusion while creating software specification document, requirement specification document. While creating the document, all the requirements must be clear. So, while gathering these requirements, the developer must take care. So the requirements gathering is the first stage in this illustration process. The next one is requirement organization. These requirements must be organized as per the priority. These must be prioritized. Some requirements are very, very important. Some requirements are urgent. Some are not important. Some are normal. So, according to their importance, according to their urgency, requirements must be prioritized. That is another stage, another activity in this illustration process. And the next one is negotiation and discussions. These requirements come from various stakeholders. From various areas, these requirements will be gathered. In these requirements, there will be some conflict. There will be some ambiguous situation. So these must be identified. If any requirement is not necessary, if any requirement creates some ambiguous situation, or if any requirement creates a conflict, then it must be analyzed. If it is possible, it must be resolved. Otherwise, it must be negotiated. So that is another system. For this analyzation, negotiation, again the developer need to discuss with the stakeholders or he must discuss with the end users. With these discussions only, he will get idea which is important, which is normal, which is urgent. Then only he will prioritize. So the discussion and negotiations is also very, very important stage. And the final activity or the final stage in this illustration process is requirements specification. By gathering all the requirements, by negotiation, by discussion, all this, finally he will the developer will get finalized requirements. These requirements must be documented. These requirements must be categorized. He will gather different types of requirements. Functional requirements, non-functional requirements, formal requirements, different types of requirements he will gather. All these gathered requirements, all these finalized requirements must be documented properly. This document will be called as software requirement specification. Like that, by completing all these stages, by completing all the activities, we can gather requirements, and this process is called as requirement illustration process. Requirements illustration techniques are requirements gathering techniques. How to gather requirements? How the developer will get details about the requirements from the client. This we will discuss in this next concept. First one is requirement illustration. Requirements illustration technique. Requirements illustration technique or requirements gathering techniques. You can call it as requirements gathering techniques also. So what are the techniques the developer will use to gather requirements from the user? Here we have some methods. The first one is interview. Here I am going to write all these techniques. Please note down this. Interviews, surveys is the next one. questionnaires, task analysis, domain analysis, brainstorming, prototyping, and the last one is observation. We have 8 models, 8 techniques. These techniques will be used to gather requirements from the end user or the client. Interviews, surveys, questionnaires, task analysis, domain analysis, brainstorming, prototyping, observation. We'll see each one. First one is interviews. The developer need to conduct some interviews with the client and client employees also. That means end users also. And he will conduct some interviews with stakeholders of the project also. So stakeholders of the project, client employees, all the persons, those who are related to that organization, all the persons, those who use the project must be interviewed. These interviews are different types. Different types of interviews will be conducted. Some interviews are unstructured interviews. Some are structured interviews, oral interviews, written interviews, like that. One-to-one interviews and one-to-many interviews. Different types of interviews will be conducted. With the help of these interviews, the developer will gather different requirements from client side. In this, the first one is structured interviews. In structured interviews, what to gather must be decided first. The developer decides what information you want to gather. He will plan prior. He will plan everything. This type of information today I am going to gather from the client. Like that, the developer will plan everything before starting the interview and he will gather that planned information from the client. Like that, if the interview is pre-planned, then it is called as structured interviews. And on the other hand, if you see unstructured interviews means there is no plan for that. So directly they will meet and they will make some discussions. With the discussions, they will get some information. Of course, these will give more information than structured interviews because structured interviews are limited. They will be framed in a boundary. But in unstructured interviews, with the discussions, we'll gather more information. That is another type of interviews. And we'll have oral interviews. Orally, we can discuss with them. And written interviews also there. That means we'll give some papers, we'll get some information with the help of documents. All the clients and clients and employees will give everything through written format. So these are called as written interviews. And one-to-one, the software employee, the project developer will meet a single employee in the company. He will discuss with him and he will gather information. That is one-to-one. And another type of interview is there. One-to-many. It's like group discussion. In this, all the employees of the client side, number of stakeholders can be get together, and there will be a discussion, and with the discussion we'll gather some requirements. This one to many group discussion helps us in gathering more requirements, because in one to one some requirements may be neglected, some requirements may be left, but in this group type of discussion, if anyone neglected a requirement, if anyone left a requirement, another person will raise it. So in this group discussion, most of the requirements will be gathered. There is no chance to left anything, because all of the company, all the employees of the company will use their ideas, will express their ideas at the same dais. So with the discussion and with the help of their ideas, we'll gather more requirements. So thus, by making interviews, we can gather requirements. That is one method, interviews. And another one is surveys. The developer will conduct some surveys with the stakeholders, and with the help of these surveys, he will gather some requirements. So this is also another procedure to gather requirements, surveys. And another one is questionnaires. The developer creates some documents with some questions. So he will issue these questionnaires to all the stakeholders and end users of the company. They will study that questionnaire and they will answer. So these questionnaires helps us in gathering some requirements. So in this, before issuing these questionnaires, the questions must be planned carefully. What questions must be included in this questionnaire? What are the options we have to give? Like that, these questions must be planned carefully, and these will be created and issued to the client side. They will fill and they will issue back. But in this questionnaire, the problem is there. If any question contains an option which is not available, then they will neglect the question. They will leave the question. Suppose for a question there may be three answers, A, B, C. If A, B, C, any one of those three is not there in the answer. For the question A, B, C, these three are not the answers. Then what they will do? What the client side people will do? Simply they will left it. So that particular item or topic will be left or neglected. This is the problem in questionnaires. And another one is task analysis. In this, the developer analyzes the client side working style, the client side working environment. If already client is using some software, if client is already having some software, then the developer will study and analyze the existing software that the client is using, that existing transactions. Everything will be studied by developer. That is called as task analysis. That is next one. By analyzing task of client, that analysis may be analyzing the existing software system or analyzing the existing manual system. By analyzing the client side information, by analyzing the client side software, will gather some requirements. That is another one. And next one is domain analysis. What is domain analysis? Every company, every organization fall into a domain. Every organization is related to a domain. So the developer will analyze the domain to which the organization is related. That outside domain will be analyzed, studied, and by that information we can gather some information also. That is domain analysis. And next one is brainstorming. This is next one. This is by making surveys with the stakeholders, by making some debates with the stakeholders, the developer will gather some information. That is called as brainstorming. All the stakeholders will get together and there will be a formal debate. With the debate only, will gather some information. And prototyping. In this prototyping, the developer will create a model and he will give that model to the client. The client studies the model and he experiences, he will feel what will be the future system and he will express his extra requirements. Like that, a model will be created which is called as a prototype. A sample model, a previous sample model will be created and it will be issued to the client. Before starting the software development, this model will be created. By using that model, by feeling that model, what will be the future model? The client will feel and he will use it. He will observe and study. Then he will get some requirements into his brain. Then he will express, okay, this is the model you designed and I want these requirements, I want those requirements. Like that, the client will express some more requirements by observing the prototype. So this is another type of technique to gather requirements. And one more model, last one is observation. The software development company employees, the developers will go to the client side, the client organization, and they'll simply observe the work going on there. What is the work going on there? What are the tasks? What are the documents they are using in each department? Simply, they will go to every department and simply they will observe what's going on there. They study their reports, they study their environment and their customer relations. Everything will be observed by software development company employees. And with that, they will note some information, they will write some information and convert that information as requirements. Like that, by analyzing the client-side organization and their environment, will gather some requirements. So these are the different types of techniques that can be used to gather requirements, and this is called as requirement elicitation process. Finally, requirement elicitation process contains different techniques. Those are interviews, surveys, questionnaires, task analysis, domain analysis, brainstorming, prototyping, and observations. Now, we discussed several methods, several techniques to gather requirements. But in gathering requirements, the developer may get some problems also. Even he gathers all the requirements, those requirements may contain some errors. What is the reason for these errors? What are the problems that the developer may face? The developer may face the following problems. Today, in this session, we need to discuss about these problems. The first problem in requirements gathering is customer or the client really don't know what he wants. That is the first problem. Here is customer really don't know what he wants. Due to this problem, requirement gathering may fail. That means he don't know really because customer is not a technical person. He may not have any knowledge about this computerization, about these technologies. Simply, he can say what he wants, but he don't know what are the possibilities. If the customer is already aware with the software system, then he may express because he may get some experience with the previous software. He may face so many problems with previous software. Then, with the problems, with the previous experience, he will express his requirements. But in some cases, this computerization may be the first time for the company. So they may not have any idea. So they don't know what to represent. They don't know how to represent their requirements. So they may not produce the required requirements. Some important requirements may be left. So in these cases, this is this case handling is the main responsibility of the developer, of the system analyst, those who gather requirements. Here, the developer must make the customer knowledge about the software development, about the computerization. All the information the developer must provide to the customer. The developer must spend sufficient time with the client. They have to spend more time and discuss all the topics. The developer must provide some information about different technologies, about different methods, and he must also provide information about the completed project of the same field of the customer. Suppose a bank approached the software company to automate their branches, then the developer must provide information about already completed projects of another bank. So that particular bank already computerized, they are using these facilities, they are using these technologies. Like that, all the information he must provide to the client. Then client will get knowledge. Then he will ask his requirements. He will give more information. Like that, the developer must provide information and he must spend much more time with the client. He must discuss more time with the client. Like that, by making all these solutions, by using all these solutions, you can overcome this problem. So it must be identified by the developer about the customer you don't have any knowledge, so we have to make him knowledge. Like that, everything must be identified by the developer, and the developer must make all these solutions. He must apply all these solutions and he must make the client knowledge about how to provide requirements. That is the first problem in its solution. And the next one is another problem that may raise, another problem that may lead to failure in requirements gathering is change of requirements. Change of requirements during the course of project. This is a very critical problem. Change of requirements during the course of project. At the beginning of the project, before starting the project, the client will give requirements. With these requirements, a document will be created by analyzing the given requirements, by purifying, by prioritizing, by making some analysis. A document will be created. After gathering all the requirements from the client, these will be analyzed, these will be scrutinized, prioritized. After all this task, a document will be created, SRS, software requirement specification. With the requirements in this document, with the help of this document, the developers will start and continue developing the project. They will follow that document only. As per the given requirements, they will develop the project. But at course of project, at the development time of the project, at middle or some other area, the client will come and will ask for change of requirements. And he may ask to add extra requirements. This is a very critical problem because at the middle of the development of project, if we try to change anything, that may impact the previously completed work, the previously completed project, and it may impact the entire planned schedule. The entire planning will be disturbed. From the beginning to ending, the project manager and the remaining employees will plan something. This is the starting stage and this is the ending stage and these are the activities in between these stages. They will plan everything. So if you try to change anything in the middle, then that impacts already completed work and that impacts the next work also, the next stages also that are to be completed. So this is a very critical problem. This impacts the schedule time of the project. Some time will be scheduled to complete the project. It may be disturbed. Similarly, it may affect the time also, the time and cost also. Cost of the project will be increased. So, changing requirements at the middle is not a correct procedure, but sometimes it's necessary due to business, due to their latest technologies, due to change in their business style. This change of requirements is compulsory. So this is a problem. It can be handled with the help of configuration management, already we discussed in previous session. Whatever it may be, this situation must be handled carefully. The project developer must create some milestones, some landmarks. So at this position, you can make changes. For this stage, for which stage, where the client can ask for the change of request. And what will be the impact if they change? Everything must be explained to client. He must create some milestones. He must create some targets. This is the area you can change. So after completion of this, it's not possible to change any requirement. Like that, the developer must create milestones also to the developer. That is next one. Another problem and its solution we have to discuss, that is customers will have a very little time limit. Customer has unreasonable time limit. This is another problem. Unlimited time limit or unlimited timelines, and also is the right word here. Here in this, the customer or the client will ask to complete a project in this stipulated time only. For example, the client asks that the project is very urgent, it must be completed within 3 months. Suppose, in this case, actually to complete the project, if it takes 6 months, the client is asking to complete it within 3 months. That is not a proper time limit. 3 months is not a proper time limit. That's why it is called as unreasonable time limit. The customer asks to complete in 3 months, but the project takes 6 months to complete, then the software development company must explain the problems if it is completed within 3 months to the client. The development company, the developer must explain it is not possible to complete within 3 months. Suppose if the development team agrees for 3 months to complete, which takes 6 months, then it leads to so many problems. Actually, this is the failure in providing service to the client. If it takes 6 months, then the development company must explain to the client it is not possible to complete within 3 months. These are the activities in this project. Each activity takes this much of time. So total takes 6 months. You are asking for 3 months. So it is not a reasonable time. Like that, they have to explain everything to the client, and they must try to convince the client only. But if the software company agrees to complete within 3 months, it is not possible because that is not a reasonable time. Because to develop the software, it takes actually 6 months. As per the project estimation, it is declared and decided that the project will take 6 months. But the client is asking for 3 months only. He want to complete within 3 months. He is asking that the project is very urgent and I want the project within 3 months. Then, in these cases, the software company should not accept those unreasonable time limits. They must explain everything to the client. What are the stages in developing the software? What are the activities to be performed in each stage? How long time each stage takes? All these details they must explain to the client and they must convince them. Like by providing knowledge to the client, we have to solve this problem. But the software company should not accept to complete the project within the unreasonable time limits. This is the main problem, and it leads to a failure of service to the client. And another problem that we may face, that is communication gap between client, software company, and software employees. We'll see that. Communication gap between software company, these all participants. Software company means the engineers, client, and project managers. Client and project managers. Communication gap is the main problem here. For every project, not only software project, for every project, communication is very, very important. All must know everything. All the information must be transmitted to the proper persons. If any gap is there between these employees or these client and customer, it leads to so many problems. So here, communication gap between software company, client, and project manager. Because here the terminology of client is different. The client will use different terminology as per his knowledge. Suppose if the bank wants to computerize their branches, they will give their information as per their terminology only. They will use demand draft, credit, debit, overdraft. Like that, they will use some terminology. It must be understood by the software company and by the project manager. So the gap must be clarified, the gap must be removed between the client and the project manager. The project manager must arrange some arrangements to perform communication, smooth communication between the client and the software company. They must understand everything. They must understood each of their opinions and feelings. If the client want to express anything, it must be in easy format that the software employees can understand. If the developer wants to explain anything to client, it must be in an easy format that the client can understand. So some proper format must be designed and it must be used while performing communication between the client and the developer. So, thus making a clear understanding between all these participants of the project, that may be client, maybe software developer, maybe project manager, or the team members, all of them must use a proper format, a proper formal language to understand each other. Thus, by making all these solutions, we can solve this problem. And one more problem we have, the development team does not know the internal politics, the politics of the customer organization. Development team does not know, maybe development team don't know internal, can write here politics not necessary, of customer organization. So due to this problem also, we may get some trouble while gathering requirements from the client. The development team don't know politics of customer organization. They don't know the atmosphere and the environment of the organization. Actually, in most of the companies, the client side employees are not interested in this computerization because they may feel insecure if this computerization will create any problems to them. At the same time, there will be so many internal politics in the company. So, due to these internal politics, the requirements, total requirements may not be produced. All the employees may not be interested, all the employees are not interested to provide proper information. If any employee is not interested in this computerization, then he may not give all the details or he may give wrong details. So the internal politics is the main problem in this requirements gathering. So the system analyst must be a skilled person in this case. He must use his skills. So with the skills of the system analyst, he can solve these problems. He have to discuss with different types of people in the company. He must identify who is rejecting the project, who is accepting, what are the politics. He must understand all these and he must make knowledge all the rejected persons that the project will create benefit to them, not a loss to them. Like that, you have to explain to everybody, those who are rejecting the project, and he must get details from those people also. Like that, by using his own skills, the analyst must gather all the information, and the analyst must able to understand the internal politics of the customer organization. Like that, there are several problems we have while gathering software requirements. Today, we discuss the problems in requirements elicitation process. Or the first one is customer really don't know what he wants. That is the first one. The second one is requirements change during the course of project is the second problem. Third one is customer have unreasonable timelines. That is the third one. Customer have unreasonable timelines is the third one. And fourth problem is communication gap exists between the customer, software engineer, and project manager. So about this gap we discussed now. And the last one we discussed, the development team does not understand. They don't know. They cannot understand. The development team does not understand the internal politics of the company, the internal politics of the client organization. These are the problems we discussed in today's session.